What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 9, picking up from Farron Keep. So before we get started on Farron Keep, as far as recommendations, the big thing here is your poison bite ring to raise your poison resistance. You will be poisoned the entirety of the time going through here. I don't even recommend buying cleansing for the poison. Raising your resistances will be fine. Those items are going to be wasted because, as mentioned, you're always poisoned. However, it's pretty easy to maintain. This ring can go a long way with that. Aside from that, the enemies here, for the most part, will be weak to fire, so that can also help you out. Now, as far as things to do in Fair and Keep, the main objective is to find 3 towers and extinguish the flames at these 3 towers. This is going to open up the end area for the final boss. And that's all you really have to do. But with that being said, there's a lot of really good items here, and you do want to take your time to get them all. Now, this area can be very confusing. It's very open, a lot of trees. It all kind of looks the same, like I said, if you don't really know any better. So I'm going to do this in a way to make things easy as we possibly can. So in general, the best way to do this is to make a big loop around. However, the first thing we're going to be doing is just running straight on in. Because when we do our loop, these items right here are kind of off on their own. So it makes more sense just to run a straight line first, and then we'll run back to the bonfire and actually get started. So your Estus recovery. You're going to get up to 10 flasks right at the start. It's going to help out. These guys aren't much of a challenge, so right here, another upgrade map. And then from there, if you just ran straight back, you'd be at your bonfire. But since we're here, we're going to curve on over, grab some prism stones right here. And don't worry about the other items from this point forward, as, like I said, we're going to be doing a big loop. However, if you run straight out, this is going to give us the opportunity to go ahead and upgrade our flask before we get going. Now, if you use a mana, you guys might only have 8 flasks, but if you're like us, where you're not going to use mana until later on, we should be able to get 10 flasks right now.
Just wasn't it? Pretty be careful.
Alright, so make sure you got all your upgrades up to date. Your, all your flask, undead bone shards. Just make sure you are well situated for what we're about to do, as this can be a little bit tough. So from here, Farron Keep. Now, Farron Keep is pretty much just this big poison swamp surrounded by a wall. It's almost in a perfect circle, so that does make things a little bit easier. So starting out, because we still have the 3 towers, then there's actually an upper area to do first. So what I like to do is this makes things much easier. We're going to do a big loop of the swamp, getting all the items completely at the lower end. Now, there are a few enemies here you will not want to fight because they're just going to feel impossible to you. Trust me, I'll show you when we get up to them. For the most part, we are going to clear everybody in full as we typically do. But there's just one instance where it's just not worth it. It might take you 10 loops running through here to get it right. So we'll keep you safe as we go through. So as soon as you lead out, we will be starting on the left-hand side. Grab your rugged mask. And you do want to keep moving. So we have a lot of territory to cover. No matter what, you're going to be poisoned. So that's not really wise. Just, we have a lot to fit in. Now, if you get lost, just look for that wall. Get that wall back on your left side, and it should line you up. Because we are going to have to branch off, here and there to grab items. So right here where you see a slug kind of ate an item or you're sitting on it, that's actually a nice shield that I really like. Stone Parma. I'm going to see if we get away with switching it out. Oh, we don't have the strength. I said we'd be leveling it up. We'll go back to it. We'll get it back later. It is really nice, so I like it quite a bit. It's a medium shield. It's like stone, so it's solid, very good damage negation, but it doesn't have parry on it. You can get sword skill at any time, and that's what I really love about it. We'll take these guys out. So as soon as you get here, we just want to shoot on over to the right-hand side. And also, if you take out all the enemies as you go, at least all the smaller ones, you'll know where you are. If you see anyone alive, that tells you, hey, I have not been here yet. You know what I mean? So, pretty easy to keep track. Alright, so that's where you got your Estus shard and all that. Now, over here should be a poison buff for your weapon. That's your rotten resin, I guess we'll call it. Pine resin. And once you grab that, we're back to the far left. Now, almost immediately from this spot is going to be pretty elite guy. These are called wraiths. actually not that many in the game, only in certain locations, but they're really rough. They have like an invisible shield you can't see. They don't really let up, you know, really, really extended combos. Hopefully you have a weapon that can kind of knock them down a bit, or lock them down rather, but you know, with our setup, it's not too bad. So that gets you some multiplayer. So you could actually farm those guys for the paled tongues for respecs. Sage's coal. So now you have your poison infusion. Now moving forward, this is gonna get a little tricky. Like I said, just find that wall on your left. Yeah, we're gonna do this island first. We're gonna branch to the right a little bit. This guy, there are 3 different types of beast enemies here. One you'll kill with like one hit. The smaller ones, the medium-sized ones will have like shields and weapons. They're okay, but this guy's super challenging. The one with no weapons, a big guy, he's horrible. So a lot of slashes, but he has this attack where he'll jump up and just keep jumping up. It's really hard to deal with. And he can also jump and scratch your fucking face off, which does a lot of damage, but also buffs him even more. And he'll keep trying to do it. It's like a grab attack almost. So he can be a nightmare. With our current setup, we should just charge heavy, you know, and have him done. By the time he gets back up, he's dead. So he can also drop covenant items if you're trying to farm that up. Now, before we go any more forward, we're actually going to shoot over here to the right, kind of close off our loop. This will send us right back to the bonfire, let us get our heals back, and grab all the items in this open area so we know it's done with. There are certain ways to kind of keep track of everything. So these are your weaker ones. I said some pretty much just, you know, one-shot type guys. Usually another one around here somewhere. Now, another way to keep track is this is, you know, like a broken bridge, right? So there's going to be 2 portions of this bridge. This one on the left is going to get you guys something you might like. You got the right build for it, which is a great sword, which also could go with our build once we get more levels into strength. I'm not a fan of the moveset two-handing it, but it's a solid-ass choice for sure. Now, if you got that, we're just going to run straight across to the other side. Grab that. Then if you ever look, that's where you originally came in from. Now, if you do need to go back and rest, feel free to do so. I'm going to keep on trucking. But just remember, if you go back and rest, all you're going to do is run straight out and take a right going around that big mound. Then if you just follow that around, you'll see the bridge right here. You just go straight, and that's that island. That way you can keep track. Then we know the first third of this place is cleared. For the most part. There's still quite a bit going on. Quite a bit. But, you know, that's how you do it. You're just trying to section it out. Now this next part, I would actually put on a ring of sacrifice if you have a bunch of souls. We're about to do a suicide run. There are these guys here. They're gigantic mages, so they use spells, but they have big trees. They're so big they're carrying trees around they're going to beat you with. Fighting one is an absolute nightmare. There are 3. I'm telling you, fighting one is really hard. You'd be lucky to get good enough to do it, you know, one-on-one. 3 of them is suicide, and this item is not that rewarding, but, you know, 100% walkthrough, I want to get off that, you know what I mean? Now, we could try to run away and keep going, but you see that? They're not hurting you up close, they have their spells. But yeah, we could try to backtrack, try to run to them, aggro them, but they're going to chase you forever. That's it. It's easier just to let them kill you. And look at that. You see, they hit you one time, you're dead. Like, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but where we are at the game when we encounter them, it feels that way. You know what I mean? It really feels that way. So kind of a waste of a ring, but we had enough souls to actually... And you have a few of them, but yeah, we had enough souls to justify it. To that end, let's go grab a level to be safe, because this is not getting any easier, guys. Not getting any easier. That's not entirely true. Look, there's some hard stuff going on here. But that's probably the hardest encounter. So I did say we want to get that strength up a bit. Yeah, because that's going to let us use our shield. We're still a little bit short, but, I mean, we're at 20. We need one more level there to have vitality done. One more level to strength. I want to go ahead and get that stamina up. That's probably what we'll do. We'll do 1 level to strength for our shield. 1 level here, so that's completely done. 5 levels here, then get strength where we want it. You want to squeeze health here and there too. You know, as you go, just every few levels, I'd put 1 in health. Okay, I want to see if I can just sell a few things. We're super close.
How may
I knew we were close to being over 10,000. I just did not realize it came that quick. Let's see if any duplicates I'm not really worried about. Besides that, don't sell that. Did we get any like drops from enemies we don't give a shit about? Not really. These are all like guaranteed in the game. I don't sell that kind of stuff. Like all the unique stuff, I'll never sell that. Damn, I cannot believe it. That's about it. That too. Yeah, oh, there we go. Yeah, we picked up so many of those. That's gotta be enough.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm a completionist. I like to have everything. Now, a lot of these items aren't even guaranteed. But I like them, you know, any unique armor sets or anything like that. I'm not sure if be able to rock my shield. Yeah, our weight's fine. We're looking good there. Alright, so now we'll jump back to Farron Keep. And the good news is, since you're cleared up to that area, we could just run straight on out. We could skip all that stuff. So that will make life a little bit easier. You guys can ember up here if you want, or go ahead and throw some more levels into health. I mean, I want to get our strength up, but I don't. I mean, our other weapon isn't coming for so long. I feel like we can still put that off for a bit and try to get some stamina and health. I want to try to get these base stats wrapped up, because then we can stay in damage rest of the game. But either way, as mentioned, once you made it that far, you can just run straight out. And you see your bridges? That's where you want to be, between the 2 bridges, and go to the left. These guys are infamous for dropping a lot of upgrade mats. I don't want to waste these, but having extra health, if you're getting killed a lot here, don't use embers. Do not use embers. Just run through. If you don't get any levels, it happened to me a few times where I went through this area and I didn't get any levels. I just had to run through and get all the items because I kept getting killed. It's not worth the resources, guys. It's not. So what you just got there is a covenant item for the covenant you're going to join here. So getting back on base, what we're going to do is, we're not worried about these guys. All you had to do is get that 1 item. So swing far to the right side. They're not even going to bother us. We'll go ahead and clear these guys out because they're right here. And also, they can drop a lot of Titanite. Don't worry about any items beyond this point. We're going to get it from another way. Yeah. I thought there may have been a Titanite over there. We're good. But yeah, if you stay to the far right, they're not going to bother you. Now, as soon as you get to, like, the end of that corner of the wall, we do need to shoot back to the left. There's going to be a few guys here. This is like your medium-sized beast enemy. They're a little bit of a challenge. Not usually, just depending if you get caught by a full fucking combo. They're a decent challenge. They're not like those big guys at all, though. They're not going to jump on you and claw your face off. But they do have some crazy-ass combos, as you see. This is a callback from Dark Souls 1. These were the worst enemy in the fucking game. I hated them. Spellbook. So we actually need that for a quest and for, you know, mage builds to get you guys more spells. Make sure you pick that up. Now we have to go fight a big-ass crab. Go grab some rings and stuff. Before we do, if you guys just want to swing to the right a bit. Make sure we don't get any company in this next fight, because it can be a pain in the ass. We'll grab that item here in a minute, because that's actually our next bonfire right there. So, when you befriended the giant, I told you he'd still be throwing javelins, and Cathedral of the Deep and Farron Keep still helping you. Well, you saw that at Cathedral of the Deep. He can help with this crab, if this crab's in the perfect spots. He doesn't always help, but he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, there it goes. So if you get centered there, he should be throwing javelins and fucking this guy up for you, as you see. told you, man, he's the best friend you can ever have in this fucking game. He's always helping you. Now, I haven't noticed him help us beyond this point, but think about that. There's Undead Settlement he helped us in, Cathedral of the Deep, and Farron Keep. And you've progressed the game for hours, and he's still helping. You know, still helping you. So he's awesome, dude. Best friend you can have. Alright, now we're simply just kind of going about getting our stuff. Fortunately, there are a lot of sections like this in Farron Keep where you're going to be bat rolling the whole time. Super annoying. It's obnoxious level design, in my opinion. When it lasts for this long, yeah, pretty obnoxious. You know, long time. We're pretty much out of it, but up ahead we will have to deal with it again. So as soon as you get past the crab, you'll see like another little on-ramp here. Well, this is actually your next bonfire. Then the main boss is through that door. There's other stuff going on too, but that's the gimmick here. You have to get to the 3 towers, the big mounds leading up we haven't touched. And then instead of lighting 3 flames, you're going to extinguish flames on the towers, which will light these pillars, and that door will open. Now, that's to come, but, you know, we're not there yet. In fact, the towers are the very last thing we're going to do. I know, you know, I know where they're at. We run to them very quickly and knock it out, but we want to make sure everything else is done. Alright, so here's your bonfire. This is actually pretty much the 3rd and final tower. Alright, so after you rest on up, we can actually go grab another undead bone shard almost immediately. So when you go down this tower right here, where you get to the lower section, there's a bunch of slugs in here. They could actually stun lock you, fuck you up if you're not careful. Nothing more embarrassing than getting killed by a fucking slug. But they got your undead bone shard. Now from here we're going to go straight through. That's another one of those really big guys. So there are things on the left we need. There's also things on the right. So we're going to go to the right side first. So you're going to see this ladder. That takes you to an upper area. Which side content. We'll do that, but not until we completely clear the swamp. As we said at the start, you know, the easiest way to do it is completely clear the swamp. Over here is a covenant item. A little bit Estus soup. If you look to the right, those are those other broken bridges. So, like I said, bridge brings us full circle, but there's other things going on. So, once you got that, these kind of look back where we came from. Once to the left just a bit, we're going to run all the way across. In fact, you'll see this item on an island. Tongue twister. You see an item on an island, that's where you want to be. Now, you guys are annoying. That's why I'm taking the time to kill you. You're pissing me off. Alright, so from here we're going straight, putting that wall back on our left side again. There's actually an armor set right back here. Some people might like it. Probably more on the simplistic side, but not bad. It's your nameless set. Most definitely one of the better looking ones at this point. I'm hoping it's got an aggro. Yeah, and there is an evasion event here, but usually does not happen at, you know, right now. It's better not to be embered until you want. We can do the invasion, but we don't want to do it here. What you want to do is ignore him. He'll follow you all the way too, but we're going to roll on through. Yeah, it sucks making this bat rolling. Bat rolling. Yeah, I tried not to be embered for this, but I embered for the extra health. I'm not going to give up on it now. But pretty much right when you see that mound, just go to the left and wrap this around. Hoping them back off. I mean, I hate to get ourselves killed, but that invader gets involved. We might have to, because this is a mess. So if you see the basilisk, you are right where you want to be. I thought you backed up. No, I'm just going to fight him. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you don't want to be embered because then the evasion occurs, right? And you have all these guys up your ass. All these guys up your ass. we want to do this the same way. As I said, don't sweat it if you come out of Fair and Keep with not a single soul, because it happens to me a lot, and it works out just fine. I'm still level 100 by the end of the game. We're good. It's just one of them fucking areas. It's not an enjoyable area, It's not whatsoever. So to make this easy, what we're gonna do is we're doing the same thing. I was hoping he'd patrol. You can take this guy out. It's really hard though. As long as you're not fat rolling. Because his health isn't as crazy as you might think. But his damage is. Quickly. There you go. That's how easy it is to take them out. Problem is, you don't typically get those openings. You know what I mean? You do not typically get those openings. So what we're going to do is stick to the left side. The far left. You can't miss it. All we do is run down the platform, go to the far left. And then you're going to see this cave. You got to be careful. If that curse builds up, we're fucked. No. Oh, that was close. So close. Yeah, these guys suck to deal with, man. I'm not saying you have to fight them, but sometimes they don't really give you a choice. Now, so either way, if you just stay to the far left-hand side, spell book, then you're going to open this chest. So easy to miss this, too. Acquainted set. It's actually really good defense for fire, too. Alright, so now coming out of there, same thing. We're staying to the far left. Now, this is where the invasion will occur. And like where we were before we died, if you would have went up that tower, this is the other side of that tower. So, just in case you guys didn't die and you got lost, that's where you are. Just come straight down the other side, I'll put you right here. There's our souls. Which we'll get in a second. You're going to have to kind of, branch to the left here, grab your soul item, then go back to the right. Okay, guys, there's a lot of shit piled up here. Grab our souls, and we're going to shoot on over to the left-hand side. Now, you've about completed your full loop at this, by the time you made it here. About over, guys. We're almost to it. Sucks, don't it? Fucking sucks, don't it? You guys got it easy. I had to go through here and take notes. Yes. You know how many fucking circles I had to do through here? Oh my god, dude. I was got to the point where I'm like, do I even want to do this series? Fuck it. I mean, you see what this is like. It's not fun. It's not fun. And then to go through and be meticulous, look around every fucking corner, make sure no stone is left unturned. I spent about 4 hours to do it. So, I mean, I think we're all going to be happy when we get past it. As soon as you get to that wall and that item, shoot over to the right for a spell. Gotta have it. Can't miss a single spell, you won't get your trophy. Alright. Then you guys are going to notice those are those broken bridges again. So at this point, you got it all. And you're all the way back to the start. Pain in the ass done. So now we're going to jump back to Keep Ruins. Alright guys, so with that we're actually going to wrap up early. We got through a little bit quicker than I thought we would. Now I was really considering pushing forward a little bit more. But all we have left is an optional area, light 3 towers, take out a boss. And that's it. So that's enough for an episode. If I go any further, we're going to have like a 10-minute episode. Don't want that. Got some pretty decent ones here. I don't know if that's enough anymore, because every time you level, it does go up.
Welcome. Very then hey.
I'm wondering. Yeah, it's only one level into that. Thinking here. It's only one level. We can get that later. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to get this done. I mean, what are we looking at? 5 levels, wrap both those up. Yeah, and we got a boss. 2 bosses coming, so it shouldn't be that bad. and throw that in. And then we were going to jump back to Keep Ruins would be the closest location to where we want to be. And we still have that invasion to cover. We don't need to do it. So, and we will talk about this again next episode. When we like the 3 towers, we can show it off. So the thing of it is there's an invasion. It's going to be with Hessel again. We already took her out. We got her pick. We got her helm. Well, if you take out Hessel here in this invasion, you can go back and join the Covenant for Rosaria. And now, if you do that, there will be a gesture over here you need for your Platinum Trophy. And we already mentioned Platinum takes multiple playthroughs. So if you're right by that tower, and you have to interact with the sign on the ground, and then you get that trophy. But if you do that, you're also going to be locked out of Ceres questline. Ceres questline leads to another gesture, another Covenant, an armor set, a weapon, a dagger, a ring. So you're going to mess up 4 trophies instead of 1, right? So, we could cover it, but that's New Game Plus. It takes you 3 playthroughs for Platinum. We're getting the most items and the best items in a single playthrough, so you guys have less to do on your own for your Platinum. So I did want to, talk about it because we passed it, but you don't want to do it this playthrough. It's better for next. But either way, with that, we are going to wrap up here. So as always, I hope the guide has been useful. Hope you guys have been enjoying the walkthrough thus far, and we will catch you back here shortly.